All right, Coach, one of my favorite quotes from you earlier this season, about a week or two ago, was, 2 wins sounds good, but it makes 3 wins sound even better. Can you just kind of describe how this first half of the season has gone for you going
Yeah,
into this year?
I've just seen a ton of growth and development within the team. And, I think in all 3 phases, offense, defense, and kicking game, I think there's a little bit of, the newness to a first game with a new staff and, how are things going to look, from how do we do pregame to what does the sideline look like between series to how are we going to function within each other during the course of an actual game. And so from the progression from the first week all the way, to 2 Friday nights ago, it's really just been dramatic, and I've just seen a steady climb within the team, and a team that has an attitude to just kind of keep my head down, my nose to the grindstone, just keep chopping wood, keep working to improve every day. As a coach, you just love that. You got a team that has that kind of mentality, that type of attitude. Even though a rough start to begin the season, we've just progressed, and you've seen it in all 3 phases. The team has come together. I just like it right now. We're playing really just clean, good football. I told the staff, our staff meeting, yesterday afternoon. I mean that drive at the end of the half against Waco, where we end up running the ball and squirt one out there, and then we end up executing an out route there with 6 seconds to go to bring the field goal unit on to kick a field goal, wrong field goal as the half expired. That's just really good football. Good management of everything, and it's coming together. In terms of clock management, offense, defense, kicking game, how everything's working together. You're seeing the signs of a really disciplined, good team right now.
Yeah, Coach, going into an open week, sort of what was your focus, what was your message to the team before district?
I told them that it came at a good time. Obviously there's a couple things you want to accomplish during an open week. You want to maintain your edge, that you have. And I think human nature tends to say, well, there's not a game coming up this Friday night. It's okay to relax a little bit during the course. We actually turned up the volume, on the guys, last week, not in terms of how long we were out on the practice field, but the mental intensity that's required in that moment. I think that's an important teaching lesson, especially to a team that's kind of learning and growing, and evolving, is that, man, when we're out here, it doesn't matter, is there a game coming Friday night or not? My level of intensity and focus within this drill and this moment is critical to the success of the team. So I wanted to make sure that we maintained our edge, throughout the course of the week. And then also, we backed off the workload in terms of, the mileage that they put on their legs, the things. We spent more time in the recovery room this week to be able to get our bodies back underneath us for a real physical push these last 5 weeks of the season.
You got to open up on the road against the defending district champs. How do you feel about the challenge, that Legacy's going to provide?
I love the challenge. I think Legacy has been kind of the standard team of this district for many years, and rightfully so. They've had a lot of good football teams. They're well coached, good players, good schemes, and that's kind of who everyone in this league has been gunning for. And I love it. Let's open with that. As we start district play here, this team is, top to bottom is full of really solid teams everywhere. There's not one on there that you can look at and say, man, they're not too much off the others. So I think we've got a very balanced league, and I love the challenge of going on the road, taking our team on the road, and let's play the defending champs. I like that.
Yeah, Coach. I feel like Legacy's had a really interesting non-district schedule. I mean, what can you kind of take from that film? They play Trinity, they play Allen, they play a team from Louisiana.
Yeah, Lake Travis.
Yeah, Lake Travis.
I told the guys, that when you're really good, nobody wants to play you. And I've gone to some of those realignment meetings and been looking around and seeing, I need a game. And when you're really good, nobody wants to schedule you. So, I think that's what you see with Midland Legacy. And so because of that, some of these, bigger schools end up competing against each other. And in their case, several of these matchups. So, I think you look at their record, it's 1-4. It's not indicative of, the caliber team that they are or the level of play, that they have. I think if anything, it really sets themselves up well. They've played excellent competition, through the first, 5 weeks of the season, and it'll benefit them, in district play. But, on the flip side of that, I think there's a lot of confidence that our guys have right now. We've beaten good teams as well, and we're playing good football, and the level of confidence that the team has, and believing in what we're doing is high right now. So I think it's going to be a great matchup. I'm excited for Friday.
Coach, if you broke down the the first 2 games of the season and the previous 3, what would you say are the biggest differences you've seen on paper from you guys that show that you guys are going to make a run during districts?
You know, I just think confidence. You know, I think that there was, you know, in terms specifically defensively, you know, I think there's a little bit, you get in there and I'm not quite sure, you know, exactly what to do. And then as you gain confidence and you're comfortable in what you're doing, you know, it frees you up to play at a different level than you might normally play. So I think defensively, just the confidence that was gained within those first few weeks, and then seeing really from the second half in Amarillo on, really kind of turned the page defensively for us there. You know, offensively, there's been a level of consistency that we've played with. You know, I think that, told the staff again yesterday, I think, you know, through 5 games in a season, I don't know that I've been a head coach of a team that's had more, you know, 10-plus play drives than this team has. We've sustained drives and have not, you know, shot ourselves in the foot to get out of a drive. We've had a bunch of them, you know, and that's really good. That's hard to do, you know, and so this offense has done a really good job of, you know, just building on that consistency and getting the ball in the end zone. You know, we've had a couple of big play, you know, touchdowns, you know, throughout the course of the season. We've had a lot of, you know, drive the ball and work it downfield and put it in the end zone. And I think we showed the ability to do both of those things that creates for a dangerous offense.
I was going to ask about Jimmy Edwards. I think he's got 7 touchdown catches for y'all, and just with Colton Hill going down, it just seems like his play has been absolutely critical. How do you feel about the way he's kind of?
Jimmy's played great. You know, he's become kind of the pseudo leader of that group. You know, and of course losing Colton was difficult and tough, and another really fine player, and we hope to have him back, you know, in the weeks ahead. But Jimmy has really filled that void. You know, there was a vacuum there, and he just grabbed it immediately, and you know, has made big plays for us in the passing game. He blocks well. You know, he does a really good job without the football in his hands. And because of that, you know, he's providing an element for us offensively where somebody's got to have an answer for him. And whenever you have to have a plan, you know, for one particular person on an offense, it opens things up for other guys. So you're seeing things open in the run game, and some of our other receivers who stepped up and had good games as well. That's the effect that you can have when you play well, and Jimmy certainly has done that.
Yeah, Coach, kind of going back to the matchup against Legacy, sort of what do you anticipate seeing from them, and how do you want your team to kind of come out, especially in that first half?
Yeah, you know, I expect seeing, you know, their best football out in front of them. They've had a week off just like we have. I think everybody in our league, other than Midland High, was off last week. So I think you're going to see a healthy, a refreshed, a renewed team that kind of gets refocused, and everybody, you know, puts it into really 2 seasons. You've got your non-district and then your district season, and you know, there's a 0-0 record that everybody has within the league. So I think it's a great time for a reset. I'm certain that that's what they did, you know, at Midland as well. I know we certainly did here. So I think that everybody kind of just erases the page. We kind of break it, tear it down to the studs, and you begin to rebuild. Now, you know a lot more about your team than you did, you know, going into week 1. We certainly do. So now you know kind of what makes this team tick, what is the DNA of this team, and every team is different. So I think that they're finding out things about their team, so are we, and that's what's great about the non-district schedule is you can kind of piece those things together, and here's who we are, here's our identity, you know, this is what we're going to hang our hat on, this is what we're going to be known for. So I think when you play 5 non-district games, you have plenty of time to get that figured out, and so I'm expecting a great game Friday night. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.